Match Week 7 starts in Los Angeles, where LAFC 2 and Portland Timbers 2 return from lengthy hiatuses, but look to climb back above 500 for the first time since Match Week 1. The MLS Next Pro is at Rawlinson Stadium. Hello and welcome, I'm Ryan Lee. Thank you for joining us. LAFC came into their home opener fresh off a regulation win in Vancouver. Meanwhile, Portland are off of 3 offensive shutouts, struggling to score and produce any offense. But they both stayed in games throughout their opening month and have been deadlocked throughout at 500. A win, a loss, and PK shootouts have defined their opening games in March. But to open April, they'll have a quick test against each other. A 4-4-3 for Fabian Sandoval, which shows 4 total changes since their match against Vancouver. Machuca and Mahalic are both up top working with heaters, including getting goals in Vancouver. Guerra gets inked into the midfield, and 3 of the changes are in the back 5. Diaz is back in the center back spot, with Josh Santiago making his first start this year in the right back. Ethan Scally is back on goal, still looking for his first win in any fashion in the 2026 MLS Next Pro season. As for Portland Timbers 2, a pair of changes. Cervantes remains the lone forward in the 4-2-3-1 for the Timbers. Jacob Izoita joins the midfield, his first start across 2 seasons in MLS Next Pro, joining his brother Eric. And you also have Connor Ferguson coming into the back, an MLS Next Pro debut for the former Academy player of Leeds in England. On the campus of USC, the home of the Trojans, Rawlinson Stadium in Los Angeles, California, is the site for the opening of Match Week 7 in MLS Next Pro. Early spouts of 500 for both sides in the opening month of March. For LAFC 2, 1 win, 1 loss, and 3 games going to PKs. They got their first win in regulation the last time out in Vancouver, where they started the season on a 5-game road run. Part of that was due to this field being occupied by some of the teams in USC. The lacrosse program was using this field for a large stretch of March, having a lengthy homestand. They have a lengthy road stretch to finish their regular season, are the Trojans women's lacrosse team. So that gives way to the home opener in LAFC 2's favor, something that they really were able to take well advantage of at Titan Stadium last year. 6-7-1 in 2025 in home matches for LAFC 2. But on the other end, for the Timbers, also for them, 1 win, 1 loss, and a couple of draws going into PKs. They come off of a PK loss to Ventura County. They're coming off of 3 straight without scoring a goal on offense. Timbers will start with the ball right to left in the all-white and in the all-black. Left to right will be LAFC 2. As Ryan Lee and our entire MLS Next Pro crew, we thank you for joining us here at Rawlinson Stadium on the home of the USC Trojans, where LAFC look to go hard off the gate, looking for Machuca, but interrupted along the way. They did have a couple of games to end the season last year, but the last time they were at this pitch, it really left a sour taste in their mouth. That decision day collapse against North Texas, where North Texas were still fighting for the right to make the playoffs. LAFC were eliminated at that point, and in the context of Los Angeles last year, they were just trying to ride out the schedule, and that game was eventually a loss to LAFC. It did allow North Texas to make the postseason off the back of the MVP campaign of Sam Sarver. He was excellent in that game. Multiple goals scored in that decision day clash. Was the last time they were here in Rawlinson. Sam Joseph starts in goal for Portland, sending it deep. Unable to find the forward, the lone one in the 4-2-3-1 for Jack Cassidy. Daniel Cervantes leads the attack for the Timbers. It goes right back to Cervantes, but Diaz forced to intervene, and all it does is create a road bump. The Portland attack has not only struggled to score, but they didn't struggle to create any sort of offense with one of the lowest margins of shooting attempts in MLS Next Pro. Stuck in the box, no one able to get it. Izoita keeps it top of the box for the Timbers as that try is blocked and swept away. Still available for Portland, but offside. You had the two Izoita brothers working in conjunction with another, with Cervantes in the middle. Jacob makes his first start in MLS Next Pro across 2 seasons. Eric has gone 4 starts in 4 matches in 2026. Coughed up immediately by Los Angeles, so Portland will return the favor. Cervantes in a battle with Vieira. Diaz sweeps it away. Machuca cuts it down. An LAFC side that has gone to the PK section of the game 3 times this season off of a win and a loss. They had that really tough, really humbling 4-1 loss to the San Jose Earthquakes back in week 2, but they have rebounded real nicely, acquiring points in the last 3 straight. However, maybe not fully grasping the potential that was there because they had a PK loss to St. Louis, a PK loss to Real Monarchs in that Monarchs game. They had the lead at a point, gave up a goal within 2 minutes right after taking the go-ahead after the 80th. And that essentially lost 2 free points for LAFC, especially because Monarchs were trying to charge back a man up. But they were able to rebound real nicely last time out against Vancouver, where they were really having a back-and-forth affair with the Caps. Fabian Sandoval leading the way for LAFC, really noting how that last game out was really about how much this team has come together, how those 5 weeks worth of travel helped this team become exactly that. The relationships on the field, the communication, the trust in what one another can provide for the team, and really allowed this team to really come together as a unit. Really that argument of team rather than roster. Santiago, the roadblock, can't find a feed. You had Zambrano, you had Kosakov available, but instead, racing back was Nicholas Lund. Cervantes battles at center. You have that 5 midfielders set for Timbers 2. A set that they have not deviated from all year. They've stuck with this formation every one of their 4 matches so far. Served into the box, Santos, but the barrage in black takes it away. Zambrano sliding to jar it loose. Coming back is Machuca to support the attack. Machuca, help from Santiago. Couldn't get the touch towards Zambrano, so it's the Timbers the other way. Nunez scrambles back. Eric Izoita gets around Vieira. It's the chance for the Timbers into the area. Centering feed. Couldn't reach Nunez as it was blocked away, and a chance to reverse for Sebastian Nava in Los Angeles. The dictation of tempo was a very key part of the game plan for Fabian Sandoval. Something that his team has kind of been missing a little bit at points where they've had those moments of brilliance, those series where they are basically doing a lot of what they want to do, However, that sheer dominance, putting things in their own terms and tempo, have come and gone at points. Mahalic on the long feed, eyed out by Bamford. Miscommunication with Nava as Mahalic's pass was behind him. Bamford with help from Mueller, and this goes D to D. LAFC will be here at Rawlinson Stadium for 6 of the next 7 after starting with 5 straight on the road. And these were not necessarily short stints of travel. Starting off the year in Tacoma, went to San Jose, in Salt Lake, St. Louis, and Vancouver. Cervantes in the deep ball battle. You had Vieira and Diaz. Cervantes will get the whistle favoring him. 98 total pro matches for Daniel Cervantes, the 22-year-old Mexican. Spent last year in the 2nd division of the Mexican soccer pyramid with CD Irapuato. Had a really strong start to the year, got an opening goal in week 1 against San Jose, but the rest of the team and himself hadn't really had much to show for it, but the potential is most certainly there for Cervantes. 9+ goals across the last 2 years in Mexico. The threat drew the foul. First set piece for Portland. Scooped in, back post, but a foul as you have a shove on Bamford. We go back to the set piece. You can clearly see that Eddie Vieira was doing everything he could to scramble back, but the two-handed shove by Bamford was enough to get the whistle. Possession turned over near center as Portland takes the throw in the opening 10 minutes. Still nothing to speak of on the board yet. Their ball, Portland looking to settle out of play. Portland only been on the road 1 time this year. That was a couple of weeks back where they went to Houston. And Dynamo Dos, all they did was flex their muscles all over the Timbers, giving them their first regulation loss of the year, 5-0. Centering feed, Santos settles it down. Santos still with it, still holds on, but able to jar it loose was Vieira and the mix of him with Guerra. Attempting the escape was Machuca, and he shoves down his man and draws the whistle. Turned over by Portland. Here comes LA. Eddie Vieta on the far wing. And he just slammed his man down. Overhead, Izoita looking for it. Follow-up try, Nunez jars it free. Back in possession of the Timbers, Mueller wanted to cycle, out of reach of Santos. Back it comes for LAFC, Santiago keeps it for Guerra. What a feed, Mihalic ripped down, and this should be a card. Mihalic had a chance, he beat out his defender, that's Ferguson. And this is the absolute threat that you can get when you have Tommy Mihalic out on the pitch. Top offensive producer with LAFC a year ago, back in business this year. Already with 4 goals in the opening 5 games for Mihalic, so you know the opportunities are there on that left side wing for LA, and they'll draw a free kick from it. We just saw one from Portland, now one for Los Angeles, as Connor Ferguson gets the first yellow card of the match. Serve to the box, back post, still loose, but it's kept by Sam Joseph. Nice header by Guerra on the attempt. This portion of the match is brought to you by BMO, the official bank of LAFC. This will be claimed back with Juliana Whitchurch, first-round draft pick of LAFC in this past year's Super Draft at number 24 overall. The rookie from Princeton. Slip through for Kosakov. He tries, but just missed. The LAFC players arguing a ricochet, but we take a look at Kosakov. He's been a bit more of a box presence, someone to kind of occupy space, take away one of those center backs by just having the strength and the real strong base to just stand his ground and get some of those rebounds and deflections and messy areas. At that time, able to show off some of the variety in his speed and the attempt from the wide side angle. As Los Angeles are already back in business with the strip. With Machuca working back. Whitchurch. You can see the aggressiveness of LAFC as Portland try to limit the damage. Nunez steps up. There comes from the other end, Jacob Machuca in a battle with Mueller. Machuca wins it. Zambrano. Guerra, clip from behind. Referee says play on. Zambrano attempted to win it back. Streaking ahead are Portland. Eric Izoita falls back for his teammates with Portland. Daniel Nunez, top of the area, wanted to curl it for Cervantes, but it's back on for the Timbers. Santos can't elude a triple team. Izoita's cross, blocked by Guerra. Bamford in support only for a Los Angeles throw-in. Only the one shot attempt to speak of in the opening 18 minutes of play. These are two teams who don't necessarily get a lot of opportunities, but they are ones who can make the most of it. Just finding that final touch has been eluding them as Santos goes to goal. Scalio save. Cervantes the rebound. Doesn't matter. It's out of play for a goal kick. A nice try by Noah Santos. He's been trying to find the lane at the top of the box all game long, but the rebound by Cervantes was too far in front of the defense. Holding on are LA. They might have coughed it up to Cervantes had it not been the slide by Vieira. Nava cuts back. Zambrano calling for it, looks for Mahalic. Mahalic eyes down Ferguson. Mahalic sidesteps, fires across. You had a tangle inside of the box. LAFC want a call. They'll say that was kind of a toss-up. You had Kosakov with Lund really scrapping at each other. Couldn't really tell if Mihalic was looking for the cross or the shot, but either way, it's back to Portland. Charlie Kosakov causing all sorts of problems in the area again. At the very least threatening, still looking for that first goal in his rookie season after 3 seasons with the Washington Huskies, which included that national championship a year ago where he was stellar in Big Ten play, a second team Big Ten last year, where he was a near goal contribution per game player with the Huskies. 18 goal contributions in 23 matches a season ago in the NCAA. Was Kosakov leading the attack for LAFC, but it's Portland on the front foot. Back and forth with Nunez. He's got Enriquez. Lund cycles, Ferguson. As Portland retained possession. Zambrano splits out from Machuca, dancing in the area. Looks for the option, Santiago. Nava with room. Return from Vieira. LAFC looking for the right moment. Although they haven't had a lot of shooting attempts, when they do so with purpose. The only team in MLS Next Pro with a shooting percentage above 50%, that is shots on target to shot attempts. It's not that they're going to pepper you with opportunities. They will pick their spot and make sure it counts. A very aggressive style from the 2 first-year head coaches in LAFC, with Fabian Sandoval, which trickles down from the system of Marc Dos Santos on the first team. Vieira. Help from Mahalic. LA back on the ball. Zambrano, late follow, comes back for Zambrano, cuts across, holds, waits, takes, took a ricochet, and wide. What a chance for LAFC. This is their first big chance of the game. You had the attacker on the far end, and Kosakov going for the dive inside of the area once again, showing why he is a threat when it's in the penalty area. But nothing to show for it as we're about halfway through the opening half. This portion of the match is presented by DoorDash, exclusive on-demand delivery, partner of LAFC. Too far in front of Jacob Izoita, the 17-year-old who plays on this team with his brother. They're only 4 days apart from a full year. Jacob Izoita, the younger of the two, with him and his brother Eric. Diaz, deep ball, too far from Mahalic. Sam Joseph is back to reclaim the net for Portland. 22-year-old who is undefeated across his 2 starts, 1 win and the 1 PK loss. Attempting to go deep for Cervantes, but it's back to the hands of Scally. Really interesting goalkeeping match if you think about it. You have a guy like Ethan Scally, yet to find a win in regulation this year or across his 2 years in MLS Next Pro, 6 total starts, yet to find that first regulation win. He does have 1 win in PKs. But then you have Sam Joseph on the other end, yet to lose this year. After spending last year in the NCAA with Virginia Tech, his first and only year with the Hokies, where he used to be a regular in the LA area, spending 3 years from 2022 to 24 with the UCLA Bruins. In of the first 45, right? The entire MLS Next Pro crew here at Rawlinson Stadium in Los Angeles. Mahalic buying room as Vieira looks for Guerra. Zambrano touches it ahead as the clearance by Portland goes off of Zambrano for another Joseph goal kick. It's been a very regular MLS Next Pro lineup for LAFC. They've been really dealing with largely the same complement of guys all year round because they have had that shuffling of the respective first teamers going up for CONCACAF Champions Cup opportunities. Some of them have gotten some experience with the MLS so far this year. And with the extra workload, it has forced Fabian Sandoval to shuffle things around with him and Coach Dos Santos. Who to send up, who to travel. You had a flurry of guys in the roster yesterday when they went to Mexico to play Cruz Azul in Leg 2, where LAFC advanced to the round of 16. All for a Sunday home and home doubleheader against San Jose Earthquakes coming in the weekend. Situation you almost never see in MLS Next Pro on the horizon for LAFC. The first team plays San Jose's first team earlier in the evening on Sunday. And then you have the respective second teams playing later in the night. Back to back at 2 different venues, nonetheless. Portland retreat back for Joseph. Ferguson tightropes the end line, took contact with Mahalic. Back in play, Portland going quick for Mueller. Vieira gets it free. Nava couldn't touch it ahead. Zambrano shuffles back as he retreats towards Diaz and Whitchurch. Center back tandem that has really had a lot of playing time together. They both at some point have played all 5 games. Whitchurch has started all 5 so far. Diaz has come off the bench twice, but a lot of that experience together really helps the long-term development of this club. Especially as Coach Sandoval noted how the chemistry has really come about. How the team's togetherness has been one of the biggest areas of growth over the last 5 weeks. From their first road trip to Tacoma at the beginning of March to where we stand midway through April. Santos steps on the gas. He's got a lane. Santos cuts back. Still with it. Santos! He scores! Santos slots in his first of the season. And Portland take the lead at the half an hour. What an opportunity for Noah Santos. He's been looking for tries like this all game long. Shuffles through the defense, no one can keep up. Gets it past Ethan Scally for Portland's first goal in nearly 7 halves. The last goal came in the 89th minute in week 1 in their opener against San Jose. That came from Maximilian Kissel. They went 301 total minutes without scoring a goal, and that gets snapped at USC, where LA is no longer loud like it was in the opening half an hour. The Timbers have absolutely muted Rawlinson Stadium. Santos' first of the year, his 8th Index Pro across 4 years. LAFC look to get one back as it's a try from deep. Vieira easily scooped in by Sam Joseph. Coming off his first professional clean sheet in that 0-0 draw against Ventura County. Took 9 rounds of penalties. As Joseph's service goes right out of play. This portion of the match is brought to you by Ford. Quick tangle at center, Nava with room, pokes it away. Jacob Machuca by himself. Has help from Santiago. Nava Slapped out of play by Enriquez. This will draw the first corner of the match. LAFC, a top 10 scoring offense, still looking for the first of this match to respond after Portland scored about 3 minutes ago. Low ball, deflected up top. And it'll be poked away by Izoita. Cervantes leads the charge. Cervantes waits for help. Comes from Santos. Cut down. Free kick. Timbers. Nunez and Lund with a helper from the initial goal by Santos. A chance to potentially double the opportunity. They had a free kick in a similar range earlier in the half, but that was reversed by an offensive foul. Mueller, the service, caught by Scally. A little bit handsy at center with Lund and Kosakov, who gets the yellow card. As attention comes for Lund, you can see the scrap he had with Kosakov. You can very much see the communication from our officiating crew. Yellow today, Steven Cardozo leads the way, giving the indication that the foul comes from an elbow. You also have the helpers from Tristan Patterson, Salvador Reyes, and Anthony Almeida as our crew today. A relatively calm Los Angeles evening. .66 degrees Fahrenheit at where we stand. And pretty much no wind nor precipitation to speak of or expected. Another chance for a Portland set piece. You had that one a few minutes ago that was caught by Scally. Izoida the swing, back of the box, still available. Nunez settles it, couldn't get it through. Wanting a handball in the box, but it is a handball against Portland. Portland team that has struggled offensively to say the least. They only had one goal in the realm of play going into today. They just got their second. And still, not necessarily the best goals per game average, per se, with 3 goals across 5 games, one of them being a PK. But that PK was enough to get them their first win of the year against San Jose by that 2-1 final. However, they haven't been able to claim the full set of 3 in either of the last 3. PK win in a 0-0 draw against Vancouver. We mentioned it earlier, but they got absolutely shellacked in their opening road game in Houston. But you could argue that's a credit to how good Dynamo Dos have been. And then last time out against Ventura County to another scoreless draw where they lost the PK shootout in 9 rounds. Portland just looking for a spark to get the gears running on the offensive side of the ball. They've been really strong on defense because they've had 2 clean sheets in 4. And they'll need to hang tight again with a Los Angeles free kick deep in Portland's end. Curled in, back post, not there. Alex Bamford, a little extra to get back on his feet, formerly of Marshall. For that squad of the Thundering Herd in 2024 made it all the way to the finals in the NCAA. Spent 4 years with the Herd before the last 2 with the Timbers. Whitchurch backs it up. Final 5 minutes of the half. Zambrano can't reach it. Turn around, Nunez. Ships it for Enriquez. Santos took a big knock, grabbed his back as you had the reversal for Josh Santiago in conjunction with Machuca. It's a battle that we've seen all game long so far with Jacob Machuca and Nick Lund. A huge mismatch, but they've been going at each other all game. Machuca, 77 years old from the academy, only 5'6", 130 for the first year. For Nick Lund, 23-year-old, played his NCAA career with Oregon State, sitting at 6'1", 180, so a huge mismatch against Machuca. Got about 7 inches and 45-ish pounds. Then you also have that experience factor also. Over Kosakov, cleared away, stuck at center. Cervantes draws the whistle. Santos drops it, Mueller helps out. Portland looking for a lane. What a feed. Santos might have it. Already on a goal. Might look for another. Santos couldn't wiggle through the D. LA stayed compact. Try from deep. does not get there. Eric Izoita. Mahalic coughs it up. Enriquez. You had opportunities for Nunez or Cervantes, but it will streak out of play. A lot of opportunities for LA have been coughed up. Costly turnovers have really killed them in this opening half so far. Eric Izoita swings it across. Eric Izoita. Quick touch, comes back. Nunez on an assist. Whitchurch comes down. Clearance by Santiago. Only as far as Lund. Mueller. Had eyes on Nunez, but the execution not there. Another deep ball for LAFC. Does not go the way it's intended. Cervantes battles for Portland, wins it back. He does enough to get another foul. Both teams have been pretty disciplined all year long in their play within the bottom third of teams that at least commit fouls so far. But granted, when you only have a sample size of 5, maybe 6, you can't really rely on that so far yet. Both coaches are still trying to establish that identity, really emphasize the systems that they want to utilize for the squad going forward and how the new guys, either from college or from the academy, really absorb the concepts that they want to employ in the first team. As we are 30 seconds into 2 added minutes. Back and forth, Nava walks away. Mahalic controls. Can't link up with Kosakov. A chance to turn around for Santos. Nice strip by Kosakov. Machuca calls for it, receives it. Cross goes out of play. Corner, LAFC, their second. Portland still yet to get one in this game so far. However, most of Portland's danger has been in the run of play. Nava the service. Cannot connect to Whitchurch. And we run it back. Nava again, headed away by Cervantes. 2 men on for the Timbers. A pass to, as it's lifted towards Jacob Izoita. Unable to beat Whitchurch or Vieta. And that will do it for the opening half. It took a bit over 300 minutes for Portland to get back on the score sheet, but they do so at the half an hour. Going into halftime with the lead, the first time they've scored first in any game this season. And that's where we sit at the half, 1-0 favoring Portland over LAFC.
Yeah, boys hear sentiment, flow tastes sweet like cinnamon. Open up doors, I'm a gentleman. View top floor, I'm still sticking ahead of them. Running on fumes and adrenaline. Do what I do best, can't rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions, trying to figure out what sound. Don't worry about what next, just wanna know what's next. Man, I say it so loud, don't worry about what next. Just know we got now, oh yes. Man, I say it oh so proud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
Back to LA, where Portland leads LAFC 1-0. It's our time to celebrate Women's History Month, and there's no shortage of female voices and leaders within the ranks of MLS Next Pro. Let's meet two of the most influential figures.
Representation matters. I guess that's why you're seeing my face here today. It's something I typically shy away from, but I think seeing women matters, especially during Women's History Month. The opportunity for women in a male-dominated sport can, and should happen. And that doesn't have to just be at the ownership level.
Leadership is not a title, it's a state of mind. And you really don't have to wait for permission to be a leader. Leadership can look very different. It doesn't have a defined profile. Carolina Core is just a soccer team, but it's also more than that. It's a part of this ecosystem of creating access to opportunity and jobs. This place is special, but we've lost a lot of jobs when manufacturing's went overseas. And when opportunity leaves the place, so does the sense of pride and so does the sense of belonging. And Carolina Core FC is bringing that back. This club is the community's club. This belongs to the great Carolina Core. And so my responsibility is to make sure that this club is a club for everybody, that they see themselves in this, and that I'm leading with conviction in what we stand for.
I think our mission at CT United has been that we provide access and opportunity. We've started with that with the Academy, removing barriers of payment, and we found a wealth of talent here in the state of Connecticut as well as its surrounding cities and towns. Right now our state is pretty much split, and so you have many people that for any kind of live professional entertainment, they're going to New York or they're going to Massachusetts. Why not have that here in the state of Connecticut and provide something that they can have that's family friendly and fun?
What success is for me with this club is this is a place for access to opportunity. That if you come to this club, this is a launch pad for your career.
We want to be competitive on the field. I love winning, but that's on and off the pitch. We have to be successful in making sure that we can galvanize fans behind it, and we have to be successful in making something that is meaningful for the community.
And an Another moment that I just love each match is at the end of the game, our players stay on the pitch afterwards and anybody can go down and get autograph signs. And to see the young fans be able to interact with our players is one of my favorite moments.
Women's History Month I think it's really about representation, and I think it is learning what has happened before, creating opportunities for forward momentum and progression. I think there's a lot of work that has to be done, and that's not just through the lens of soccer, but I think making opportunities, that's what Women's History Month is all about, and I think it's recognizing that fact and making sure that we celebrate those moments.
Welcome to the 2024 MLS Next Pro Pick Your Opponent, or PYO as the kids are calling it. To be able to pick your opponent, if you finish at the top of your conference, you should have that right. And we're giving those teams here that exactly. We now turn the page to Philadelphia Union 2. Who is going to be your selection?
We wanted to pick someone that our fans love to hate and could get behind the game, but unfortunately Red Bull wasn't available for this call, so we went with New York City FC.
The #1 overall seed North Texas would surprise us by not selecting a conventional pick.
Vancouver has been a very good season. They play really well, but we want to try ourselves.
It is time to kick off the 2024 MLS Next Pro playoffs. We start today with the conference quarterfinals in the Eastern Conference.
We welcome you to the Western Conference playoffs in MLS Next Pro.
The Eastern Conference quarterfinals continue.
The stage is set for the postseason. A terrific matchup on hand today.
Back in LA, where Portland lead LAFC 1-0. As you saw, the All Access feature from last year was nominated for a Webby. Cast your vote for the MLS Next Pro team by going to vote.webbyawards.com. Webby is spelled W-E-B-B-Y, so cast your vote today. Last week, CT United hosted its first MLS Next Pro match at home as we revisit the home opener of the league's newest club.
This is Connecticut's newest club, built for the entire state, not just one city.
Connecticut's a pretty culturally diverse state. Doesn't really have one major city. There's a bunch of small cities that are pretty close to each other.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the stage the founding partner of Connecticut Sports Group, Mr. Andre Swanston.
I remember feeling like, okay, it's on now, because talk is cheap. A lot of people say, oh, I'm gonna own the team, and da-da-da. You hear that all day, every day, everywhere. And so it kind of, it was late 2023 when kind of everything went through. We knew it was approved and it was gonna happen. And it was just kind of, Michelle and I were like, all right, okay, it's on now, like, let's go.
I want to thank all of you who have made today possible and who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to bring these ideas to life, including the entire team from the Connecticut Sports Group.
Before the first professional match, the foundation was already in motion. In 2024, CT United launched its professional academy.
We started our academy first because we wanted to, one, make CT United tangible to the community and so they could see it, touch it, feel it, that we're here.
One of my first conversations with Andre and Michelle, when I met with them and we started discussing, their vision and what they wanted for their football team in the state of Connecticut, the ambitions, they're breaking down the barriers for giving kids opportunities to play in the academy. Once you have that idea, then I think it becomes pretty clear in terms of now bringing in the right people in your staff and to start to identify the right type of players you want to come in.
It starts in MLS Next, and it continues in MLS Next Pro.
I think we're headed in the right direction. We have a good group of guys. Coaching staff is alive and ready. And I think we're just pushing towards, the start of the season and looking to have a good season.
We knew that we wanted a team that was entertaining. We wanted a team that was going to dominate with the ball and against the ball. A team that looked to play forward. A team that is aggressive.
They're entertaining players, man. I mean, I'm really excited being in the league for 4 years and seeing the group that we're gathering together makes me happy.
What the ownership and the sporting director laid out to me, we had a couple of calls before I decided to join the team. It was very ambitious. I like what they have planned for the team, and I like the future, and I want to be part of this project. We have a lot of young players, so I know we're going to be very energetic. We're all here to learn, to get better, and you know, when you're young, your brain is like a sponge.
So, here's the standard.
Connecticut is used to winning. We've got to show them like we're playing for real, like we're not messing around. And then also I think with being the only black owner in the league, like I'm not losing, right? Like I refuse to make it seem like I can't build something that can compete on the level.
Back here in LA, where we have one goal on the board through the opening 45. It came from Portland Timbers at a half an hour in from Noah Santos. We take a look around MLS Next Pro, some of the recent scores, and like we mentioned, neither Portland or LAFC on this list. They haven't played in 3 weeks, but you really have a lot of shuffling. It's been a lot of defense succeeding so far early on in this year. A part of that's because some of the offense is still taking time to get to know each other. We move on to the rest of match week 7. You see the slate of games, 2 games on Friday, a whole slew of them on Saturday, and then you also have opportunities for LAFC on Sunday. Same with Portland as we go through our halftime highlights through the opening 45. This was early on in the game. Tommy Mahala, she's been causing issues for this Portland side, just hasn't had that finish yet. That was the first attempt from Santos outside of the box. You see the attempt by Mihalic again. Not sure if they're going for a shot with the feet to Kosakov, but this time Kosakov gets the header on, but missed from Mihalic. And Noah Santos would strike first right at the half an hour. We just went through the first half, second half in LA coming up after this.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro.
Wins it!
The unique energy of a Sunday night. Ideal for calm music, whispers, stargazing, reflection, and a relaxed environment. Sunday nights were made for this.
Back in LA, Rollins Stadium on the campus of USC, where LAFC 2 are at their home for the first time this year, but they are also down, looking up at a 1-0 deficit. They have brought in reinforcements from the bench, however. Travis Babineau expected to be in the lineup for the second set of 45, where he is going to reclaim his right back spot from Josh Santiago. Santiago is making his first start of the season for Babineau. He's appeared in all 6. This is the first game, however, that he has not started in the game, is Babineau. The 22-year-old who has spent the last 2 years with UC Irvine. Babineau in, Santiago out, as LAFC will start with the ball right to left in the all black. In the white and green, left to right, will be Timbers 2, as we await the opening kickoff of the second 45. Rolls all the way back to Scally as we are back from the break. Both teams have had about 3 weeks off to return to play, where the first 45 minutes were relatively even, all things considered. Deadlock 2-all in the shots on target, only one difference in the shot attempts. Even a yellow card apiece, but at the end of the day, it is Noah Santos who broke through first. For Portland's first goal in 301 minutes. 271 minutes was where the goalless drought was prior to today. Then you slot in at the half an hour exactly. Santos from Nunez and Lund is the official scoring. That's where we sit in the opening 45. Ryan Lee, our entire MLS Next Pro crew, we thank you for joining us here at Rollinson Stadium, where it is MLS Next Pro After Dark. Stepping in is Vieira, sends it across. Kosakov took a ricochet, out of play. Can't count how many of those attempts have come in contact with Charlie Kosakov, but nothing has been able to get there yet. Timbers back on as you have help from Lund. Santos dragged down. And there goes another whistle from our officiating crew in yellow today. Steven Cardozo, Kristen Patterson, Salvador Reyes, and Anthony Almeida. Los Angeles win it back. Mahalic lays it back. Vieira. Vieira takes the lane. Ricochet falls for Mahalic. Mahalic centers. Takedown in the box as Zambrano couldn't get contact, but it did go off the Portland defender. This is LA's fourth corner of the game. First of the half. Portland still yet to get one. And this is some of what Mahalic has been trying to do a little bit lately. You had the slide come in from Enriquez. You could have had the ricochet from Joseph also. Regardless, it goes to LA on the corner near side. Back post, headers down, still loose before it's cleared away. Alex Bamford with the cleanup, kept in by Babineau. Machuca around his defender, blocked, no second try as Santos collects it. Carlo Guerra was a little delayed in the box. 18-year-old who has had all sorts of experience at the youth international level, has actually shown representation for both Guatemala and the U.S. at various points of his international career. In doing so relatively in an advanced way of doing so too. He was 14 years old the first time he got called up to the U17 squad was DeCarlo Guerra. Went to the USA U15s as a 15-year-old. And then later, when he was 15, he went back to represent Guatemala as a member of the U20s, back when he was a 15-year-old. And has still had opportunities with the Guatemalan U20 team at 18 years of age. Machuca keeps it in play. Kosakov pivots back as LA have been knocking at the door, have been unable to bust through. Nava. And LA are looking for their options. Portland leads the head-to-head 3-4-1. 4-3-1, pardon. Where they do lead the head-to-head, but one of three have gone the Timbers' way. Zambrano flips it out. Machuca. Top of the box. Zambrano lays it back. Guerra from deep, but blocked in front. Santos steps up, too high for Cervantes. Kosakov with help from Zambrano. He tries from range, but well wide. Portland have beaten LAFC in 2 of the last 3. And the last time that Portland lost to LAFC was in a road game. However, at the time, they were still playing at Titan Stadium back at Cal State Fullerton, as opposed to the new home venue of LAFC2 here in Rawlinson on USC. Only played a few games here last year, including Decision Day, but this is their permanent home for the season. Kosakov and Zambrano combine. Help comes. Machuca into the middle, but can't get around from Bamford. Kosakov reclaims. Double teamed. Babineau assists. Enough to give it back to LA. Holic couldn't slide through a triple team, so it's Portland quick the other way. Long ball for Nunez. Flag stays down for now. In a scrap with Cervantes. Vieira supports. Izoita up high, clipped by Juliano Whitchurch, so it can be secured by Scally. Oh, Santos getting the mix time and time again. He's been so dangerous at the top of the box. Enough so to get that first goal, which was his first of the year. 5 for 5 on starts is Santos. Here come LA, Kosakov with Zambrano. Help comes Machuca. Got around Mueller, couldn't get around Lund, but it does get booted to the bench. Opening 10 minutes, nothing's changed since where we started, 1-0 favoring Portland. Both teams sit exactly at 500. LA 1-1-3, Portland 1-1-2. Nava, too weak for Machuca, takes down his man in the process. These two will be back here in Rawlinson in the first week of July. And then they'll head to Providence Park in the first week of August. Portland walk away with it. They have a 3-on-3. Try from deep gets blocked. Second try by Izoita gets scuffed out of play. LAFC control as Colin Griffith and Ben Barjolo getting word from Jack Cassidy. Across it comes Mahalic, lays it Vieta. Sebastian Nava. A team that have thrived on the counterattack. They're looking to build their way up, however. Richards had to be careful. He had Cervantes all over him. Holic stares down Ferguson. Guerra, quick sidestep. Babineau maintains the cycle. Guerra with room, loads up but too high. So Jack Cassidy is ready to make some changes. The goal scorer, Noah Santos, and one of the young midfielders, Jacob Izoita, are both going to the bench, as Colin Griffith and Ben Barjolo are their respective replacements. Griffith was a draftee in this year's Super Draft coming from Maryland, second team Big Ten in 2025 with Terrapins. And then you have the 19-year-old Ben Barjolo, who was in the USL ranks both with Orange County and with Union Omaha on a loan stint since 2023. This portion of the match is brought to you by Kaiser Permanente, the official team physicians of LAFC. Vieta has to be careful as Barjolo can absolutely blaze by anyone. Machuca coughs it up. Support comes from Izoita. This is where Fabian Sandoval will make his second change of the evening. DeCarlo Guerra to the bench. Brian Moyato comes on right at the hour. Brian Moyato, 4 years with LAFC, 44 combined appearances across MLS Next Pro, previously representing Team USA at the U19, U20 level, and has really taken on a huge increase in role since last year compared to his load in 23 and 24 combined. That's a pair of subs for both Coach Cassidy and Coach Sandoval, the pair of first-year head coaches. Nava fights for it, has space for Mihalic. Tommy Mihalic, the captain, lays it back towards Nava. Behind for Moyato. Moyato elevates it, bouncer towards Joseph. Joseph, prior experience in this MLS second team ecosystem when he was with the New York Red Bulls organization from 2020-2022. Got in a couple matches with the Red Bulls when they were in the USL Championship back in 2021. Chance to boot it ahead, took a clip, out of play. First corner for Timbers. The efforts of Henry Mueller to get it out, it took over an hour, but Portland will finally hit the corner flag. For context, LAFC did so 4 times, including 3 in the first half. They didn't capitalize on any of those. Maybe a chance for Portland to double down. Service is in, off of Whitchurch, top of the area. Headed back into the mix, Whitchurch there again. It's going to be hard to elevate anything past the 6'3" Whitchurch, but it comes back. Cervantes, back heels, Griffith. Pretzeled up in the series of defenders in black, as Nunez will eat that contact out of play. Colin Griffith in a battle with Juliana Whitchurch. Whitchurch drops him. Free kick to Portland. Colin Griffith didn't play his final year in Maryland due to injury, but he did do enough at his time in Maryland to get drafted in the later rounds. Takes the contact there. As we just saw the first corner of the match come for Portland. Now they have a free kick right by it. Off the defender for another Portland corner. So essentially 3 cracks from that far flag, all of them. Quick in, chipped it. Once again, it was Whitchurch in the way. Granted, it's hard to get past a guy like Juliana Whitchurch at 6'3", 190. He was a third-team All-American last year because he was a part of a Princeton Tiger squad that only allowed 4 goals in an entire regular season last year, leading them to their 2nd consecutive Ivy League championship. And at 25 years, also the first time that Princeton won the double in the Ivy. Kosakov pivots away from Zambrano and stolen back by Griffith for Portland. Ferguson steps up, couldn't find a lane for Cervantes. Nava to the outside. We have Mihalic and Vieta. Minutes into the second half, still 1-0 from the 30th minute. Top of the box, Machuca was the intended target, but it did go off the defender, so it's another LAFC corner. Looped in, and foul against LA. Another set of changes coming up. This time you have changes on both sides. Connor Ferguson will exit, as will his yellow card. This will provide the MLS Next Pro debut for the Berkeley, California native, Lucas Fernandez Kim, late round draft pick of the Timbers in his last year's Super Draft. Ernesto Rodriguez and Nathan Martaresco, Martaresco comes in for Kosakov. Both changes coming in the 68th. Back and forth it goes at center. No one can claim it cleanly. Mihalic. And Nava continue to operate the near side. A takedown by Zambrano. Contact came from Adolfo Enriquez. And you can see when Zambrano pushes for the ball, takes the body contact from Enriquez, but he had the high elbow from the Academy product. Enriquez, who is, depending on where you're watching from, if it's the East Coast, a half an hour from turning 20. However, it is 8:30 local time, so that celebration will have to wait, at least in this area, as Nava takes the free kick. Zambrano, short, Mihalic, top of the box. Nava crosses, blocked. Mihalic again, Barjolo eyes him. Babineau wanted the scoop. Nothing available. Ernesto Rodriguez. Throw-in stuck in Portland's bench, as this portion of the match is brought to you by Toyota. Slid away, Cervantes. Only where Whitchurch can get it. Babineau stretches back, but he's got control still. Not before he's met by Eric Izoita. Fernandez Kim, fresh off the bench, on the pivot. Ferguson tries to step up. Enriquez takes contact. Barjolo escapes Diaz. Whitchurch reacts to Barjolo's attempted feed as you have a takedown well away from the play. Nava and Mihalic start again on the near side. Met by a wall of white. Good Enriquez and Barjolo's service goes nowhere from Bamford, only as far as Moyato. We approach the final 15 of regulation here in LA. Rollinson Stadium in LA, home opener for LAFC. Portland have lost their lone road game. Up the gut, Zambrano couldn't reach it. And the clearance comes off of Zambrano for the throw-in. Fifth and final change for Fabian Sandoval. Emir Ponciano will take the place of Eddie Vieira, the 19-year-old, second year with LAFC's program. 15th appearance for the native of El Salvador, where he's a youth international at the U21 level. He takes the place of Eddie Vieira. And so we tested early, quick break. Eric Aizoita takes the try, and it's denied by Scally, forces a corner for Portland. Eric Aizoita, he's been taking a good couple of cracks in this game so far. Still looking for that first MLS Next Pro goal across 3 seasons. But he did get a goal in the MLS earlier this year. So the attempt was certainly with confidence as Portland are back on the corner. Arkton took a nick. Scally goal kick. And you can already see some of the gamesmanship with Portland. Sir Bontes getting a little closer to the goal, trying to maybe eat up a couple extra seconds. But there are still 15 minutes left to go. They did come back from a goal down twice against the Whitecaps last time out. Down 1-0 and down 2-1 to claim the game and the full 3 by a final 3-2 in regulation for LAFC. They've been in this position before. Fabian Sandoval noting how much better they've gotten at handling scenarios, considering they have games where they have squandered leads also. But this time they look to recoup from their early losses at the half an hour. Whitchurch in a battle, took contact, no whistle, but reinforcements come from Rodriguez. Barjolo with Ponciano draped all over him. The takedown by Ponciano. Talked about some of the threat that Ben Barjolo can provide. Rainbowed in, but nothing at the end of it. This portion of the match is brought to you by Liquid IV, the official functional hydration partner of LAFC. LAFC trying to fight back as Diaz gets out of the double team. You also have the yellow card from Sam Joseph, the goalie, at the end of that sequence. We enter the final 10. 1-0, Portland remain ahead. Noah Santos in the 30th. Assists from Daniel Nunez and Nicholas Lund. Barjolo scrappy once again with Ponciano. There's a correction in the last yellow card. It was not to Sam Joseph, the keeper. It was actually to Daniel Cervantes, the forward, for delaying the restart. As you have a knockdown, this time favoring Portland. You mentioned the different ways that some teams will try to burn off as much of the clock as possible. Not really a situation that Portland have had to deal with all year long, considering that their last 3 games all had a shutout of some sort. You had 2 0-0 draws in the mix, which sandwiched that 5-0 loss to Houston. So at that point in the Houston game, that game was pretty much already set in stone. But yeah, those 2 0-0 draws where it's been tightly contested. Just couldn't find that scoring touch until they did so earlier with Santos. And then you have the San Jose game, two goals early, one by each team, where eventually it got knocked out towards the end of the game. And there also could be opportunities for the man who scored that game-winning goal in San Jose, Maximilian Kissel, to enter. He will replace Daniel Cervantes, who just took a yellow card minutes ago. And then you have Charles Odo. Charles Ondo, the 22-year-old from Equatorial Guinea, got a call-up from the Equatorial Guinea national team about a month ago in March. 26 total games across 2 years with Portland Timbers 2. Then you have Maximilian Kissel, a late-round draft pick in this last year's draft, won the 2024 NCAA title when he was a member of Vermont. Also, prior to today, Kissel scored the last goal that Portland scored. Before that stretch was broken by Noah Santos. Ponciano fills the gap. A little footnote on the substitute also. Cervantes got a yellow card 4 minutes prior, so you don't want to risk anything by giving LAFC the upper hand with a potential 11v10. Here comes Mahalic. His service hits the back post. No one available. Babineau the follow-up. Lost control as Odo able to gallop away. Some nice work there by Charles Ondo. But his team will have to hang on as Mahalic stretches towards Nava. Whitchurch wanting to go up the gut. Split out towards Mihalic. 2 men on. Laterally with Babineau and Rodriguez. Ernesto Rodriguez turning. Zambrano, the wide angle. Gave it a go off of the defender. It's another corner for LAFC. They got 3 in both halves. And now we have another man down. This was that last sequence where you had that wide angle try off of Gavin Zambrano. Adolfo Enriquez, the captain, got in the way of it. But that does not slow down that this is a corner for LAFC. Shoveled in, and pretty much every corner LAFC have had has been absolutely lost to fouls in the area. It also happened 1 or 2 times on some of their free kick attempts that were also in Portland's end. A very disciplined team to LAFC going into today. They had one of the bottom 3rd units in terms of fouls committed, so they've been a really structured unit all season long, but for today, just not quite there. But LAFC will get a whistle back in their favor. 18-8 is the differential, by the way, of fouls. More on LA. Inside 5 minutes. Ponciano. And what a leg lift from Ferguson to cut it down. LA hustling back. Rodriguez up the gut. Wanted to give it a go. Lund got his body in the way. Nava. Across for Zambrano. He had Ono in his face. And Ondo does a good job halting progress for LA. Babineau wanted the give and go with Zambrano. Comes back towards Zambrano, chips in the area, looking for Mihalic. Cleared away by Portland, only as far as Ponciano. Back in business, RLA. 2.5 plus stoppage for LA. Down by 1, looking for a draw. Both teams at 500, looking to get above it. Rodriguez clips off Ondo. Another possession off the throw, but offside. Referees giving Sam Joseph enough warnings to speed things up on those services. He still has yet to oblige and gets the yellow card because of it. LAFC, their first and second teams will have a home and home next Sunday against San Jose Earthquakes. For LAFC 2, they will have a 4 p.m. kickoff against Earthquakes 2 here in Rawlinson. And then their first team at BMO will have kickoff against San Jose's first team at 7. So 2 LAFC versus San Jose games this coming Sunday as you have a trip. Eric Izoita on Ponciano. For LAFC, this starts a homestand of 6 of 7. Hosting San Jose on Sunday before hitting the road to Tacoma where they started the year. Sebastian Nava on the service, final minute of regulation before stoppage. Still looking for the equalizer. Nava, short. Another foul in the box for LA. All sorts of mayhem in the area from LA. I cannot count how many of their 19 fouls have been inside of the penalty area. The offensive penalty area, that is. But has most certainly taken some of their offensive momentum and flatlined it at various points in this game as extra 5 minutes are on the board. Nava full steam ahead. Mahalic weighs his options. Babineau in the mix with Rodriguez. Los Angeles cutting back and forth laterally. So Whitchurch steps up for Diaz. Ponciano forces one across. Couldn't get the ricochet. Back for Nava. Ponciano again at the back post, slapped away by Sam Joseph. And this trickles out of play. If Timbers can hold on, it would be their first regulation win since match week 1. We're through 1 minute of 5. Back at Providence Park for 3 of the next 4 for Portland after tonight if they hang on to the lead. Nava from a range, but Joseph will watch it sputter out of play. Took a clip, another corner to LA. 7 in the game, 4 in the half. 1.5 minutes into 5. Straight to the hands of Sam Joseph. He wants to go quick. Portland attempting the counter. Charles Ondo leading the way. He's got help with Fernandez Kim. It is Lucas Fernandez Kim. Follow up. Kissel. Barjolo. Rips it well wide. Barjolo hasn't found the back of the net since his time in USL League One a year ago. But has been a consistently threatening offensive presence. Halfway through stoppage, Eric Diaz and Whitchurch right at the center line. Nava. Slants across, can't escape Ferguson. Ponciano. Babineau, the elevation, too high for Zambrano. Barjolo gets rid of it. LAFC with 12 attempts, only 3 have been on goal. Mahalic, too short. Attempted to steal it back, but went off of Mihalic's arm. Rodriguez settles it down. Griffith, only a short interruption. Back in business for Whitchurch and Diaz. It's the first time all year that Portland has scored first. Headed up by Whitchurch. Follow up for Mataresco. And all the way back towards Ethan Scally as the final 5 closes in. Ondo able to escape. Izoita with room and lane. Lays it across. Ben Barjolo, he takes. Denied by Scally. Follow up into the corner, and that will be it. For the first time since week 1, Portland have won the final 1-0 after the 30th minute goal from Noah Santos. Speaking of Noah Santos, he is our man of the match, presented by Adidas. And it was the only goal that we needed in this game. A 1-0 final is where we ended, and Noah Santos got it behind Ethan Scally for his first goal in the 2026 campaign. And that was enough to get the job done for Portland. After 3 games without a goal, they got one, and it was the only one they needed to wrap this one up by a final of 1-0. Don't forget to watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball for our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew. Signing off in Los Angeles, where LAFC were shut out by Portland, who got the lone goal of the game. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I'm Ryan Lee. Have a great rest of your night.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.